Sophisticated.
Magico.
Intense.
Motivator.
Calculated.
Genius.
Evolutionary.
Great coach.
A perfect job.
Excellence.
Perfectionist.
Un obsessi.
Passionate.
Visionary.
Pep is love.
Pep Guardiola has won every major trophy there is to win in club football in his first 8 years in management. He's an innovative tactician, his teams dominate possession, and his players reach heights they didn't even know they could get to. So a good player has become a great manager. But what was Pep's path like? Was it an easy one? Did he inherit good squads? Or has he done much more than that? Did he redefine the way we think about football? What made him the most sought-after coach in the world? We explore Guardiola's journey, starting here, in a small town not far away from Barcelona.
Era molt bon estudiant. Vull dir que era un nano que no ens havia portat mai cap problema darrere, escolta. Bueno, sigui perquè ja va agafar la gran d'això del deport i ja només jugava amb la pilota ell. Vull dir que no tenia cap més joc que la pilota. Aquí és una petita mostra del que tenim a casa guardat pel Josep. Aquesta és una foto molt curiosa, deu ser del 1800, que aquesta casa que es veu aquí és allà on vivíem, on va néixer. Vol dir que és una foto que ens la va donar l'Ajuntament de Santpedor quan el van fer fill predilecte de la vila. Un dia que estàvem en un lloc que jugàvem, vam anar a fer un arròs i un meu amic em va dir: escolta, el teu xicot la toca molt bé la pilota. Diu, perquè ara al camp del Barça van persones que els criden per vigilar si tenen qualitat o no. Diu, per què no li portes? I així es va anar. Vaig trucar, li vam baixar, vaig anar 3 o 4 vegades o 5 a entrenar.
El Barça els hi va trucar.
Sí, el Barcelona ens va trucar. Aquí és quan plegava pilotes, que devia tenir 14 anys, el veieu aquí. Aquí quan va jugar amb el B, aquí el primer equip i aquí d'entrenador. Les 4 pràcticament que ell va posar. I així es va anar a l'edat de 13 anys, 14, a Barcelona, ja tot el dia allà dins, a la Masia.
La Masia prepared the boys to grow, first of all, as a person. Apart from that, they try to make you understand what Barcelona means in terms of football philosophy. Basically, is possibly the easiest way to go to the first team in terms of if you go to the first team from La Masia, the adaptation is quicker than if you come from any other team or from abroad.
Home, una persona de 14 anys que no s'havia mogut mai de casa, sí, es havia ignorat bastant. Per això s'ha fet poder ell, molt home ell, o sigui, s'ha tingut d'espavilar ell i s'ha format a dintre seu molt. En aquest sentit, em sembla que hi hem guanyat perdent nosaltres amb ell, però ha guanyat ell sent el que és ara, que quan té unes idees clares no baixa, vull dir que continua per allò.
Guardiola's future as a player was far from set in stone. His parents didn't want him to leave home too young, and some considered that he was too skinny and too lightweight to even become a professional. But one man saw past that.
Aquest matí al camp d'entrenament de la Masia hi ha hagut 2 cares noves, 2 jugadors que avui han començat a entrenar-se amb el primer equip del Barça. Aquest és Josep Guardiola, un defensa que ocupa el lloc de 4 i juga en l'equip juvenil del Barcelona. Encara no s'acaba de creure que Cruyff l'hagi cridat per entrenar-se amb els professionals.
Jo el que volia era això, vull dir, és jugar amb el juvenil aquest any, acabar, intentar donar el salt al Barça Atlètic, però bé, ja ha passat això, doncs millor per mi i seguir treballant.
Paraules d'agraïment amb el Cruyff, perquè ho ha sentit molt, perquè era com un segon pare per ell, pel deport, diguem-ho així, que les va passar molt punyeteres al principi,
Uno de los ejemplos es, por ejemplo, Guardiola. Sabemos que tiene mucha calidad, pero uno es de procurar que uno pueda demostrar su calidad.
Ho havia dit el Josep, diu, és que t'ho juro, pare, estic avorrit en aquest sentit perquè no li faig res bé fet amb el Cruyff. Sempre em té sobre i això i allò. I jo deia, cony, és poder t'ho fa perquè em vagis aprenent cada vegada més. No t'he de saber greu, això.
I remember the first game. We had a couple of injuries in that position, defensive midfielder. So suddenly this young, skinny guy came up from the youth team. We had to play a game at home. 85,000 people in the stands, but he did his work, playing in that position, and he did it great.
We won 4-0, and I think that since then he never lose a ball.
At the beginning he was very shy and he just did what Johan told him to do. It's not easy to a player of 19 years old came up to the first team and become one of the leaders.
I think I could see in a few games that he had the capacity of playing in that position. You could see immediately that he was very intelligent.
He was a kind of quarterback. If we compare American football with soccer, he was a kind of extension of the coach on the pitch.
Él estaba más contento que sus intervenciones ayudaban a mejorar lo que pasaba en el contexto global que realmente él en hacer un buen partido. Eso no le preocupaba tanto. Evidentemente para mí es el punto de partida de un gran mediocentro,
Because of his position, it was very important to talk a lot, to help the players in front. You're very used to this in the UK, in the Premier League, but in other countries it's not so common, But he did that from a very early stage. He definitely had a great vision and he knew what he had to do and how he wanted to play. I've had some very good coaches, but if I had to pick one, it would be Cruyff, because a lot of the things I have used in my training come from our training sessions and from the philosophy of Cruyff.
The philosophy was, if we concede 3 goals, we have to score 4.
Atenció que es desmarca Vaquero, passada llarga de Guardiola, Nadal, funció correcta, Nadal pot ser gol, atenció Romario!
His mentality was, let's keep the ball as long as we can. The longer that we have the ball, more possibilities we have to score.
I can only imagine seeing how Pep's teams are playing, Barcelona also, Bayern, probably also Man City next year, that he feels the same. Pep wanted to learn, so every time that Cruyff said something to us, Pep was like this, listening, very careful, because he really, more than enjoyed football, he loved football, and I think he's still at the same point.
For us, for a Catalan fans, for a Barcelona fans, Pep Guardiola was a reference. Pep was a kid that was born in the center of Catalonia. Everybody wants to be Pep Guardiola.
Pep és una referència, ho ha sigut sempre. O sigui, només la seva presència, quan jo no el coneixia de res, jo vaig entrar al Barça amb 11 anys, i el primer que em van dir és que mirés el Dream Team, no? Que era una referència per tots. I clar, llavors a cadascú els hi deien els defenses que miressin el Koeman, no? Com jugava, com desplaçava el joc, com sabia apretar. I en el meu cas doncs, era la referència al Guardiola, a l'Amor, l'Eusebio, però sobretot al Pep.
Pep Guardiola, com a jugador, podríem dir que va ser com
una de les pedres, per no dir la pedra angular de la manera de jugar del Dream Team, perquè molt de l'estil aquest del Barça de Johan Cruyff estava basat en la figura del 4, no? I a més era un 4 molt diferent, no és el mig centre habitual, perquè és més un jugador de creació, de sortida de pilota, de distribució, que no pas un stopper com ara ha tornat a tendir la figura del 4 del mig centre.
El meu mirall, abans de conèixer el Pep com a persona, doncs era un referent per a mi futbolístic totalment. O sigui, fins i tot el Joan Vilà, que ha sigut el meu pare futbolístic a dins de la casa, em deia, nano, empapa't de tot el que fa el Pep. Fixa-t'hi com juga el primer toc, com sap, com aixeca el cap abans de rebre, si està pressionat, si està sol, quan ha de fer la pausa, quan fa el canvi de joc, com utilitza les dues cames a l'hora de controlar, fer el control orientat.
It was the first European Cup for Football Club Barcelona in all its history. Everybody was waiting for us to win it. So it was a lot of pressure. I'm going to be there forever.
I still remember when we came back from Wembley, from the airport and into the centre, I think there were more than 1 million people with the Catalan flag and all that. So I know what it meant for us, foreigners, and also for the Spanish, so even more for the Catalans.
Pep Guardiola, per allò que he dit, que és un tio molt inquiet i a més amb un cert nivell cultural i intel·lectual. Pep Guardiola, amb 20 anys, 21 anys, és el tio que és capaç de sortir a la celebració del balcó del Palau de la Generalitat, de la plaça Sant Jaume, i de la frase més enginyosa de totes les que es van dir aquell dia quan es va venir a celebrar la primera Copa d'Europa, quan va treure la Copa i va dir ciutadans de Catalunya ja la teniu aquí, no? Emulant la famosa frase de Tarradellas, no? Sempre va demostrar que era un tio que tenia un enginy o que anava més enllà que la resta de futbolistes, no?
Ciutadans de Catalunya, ja la tenim aquí!
Here comes Pep Guardiola. As symbol of both the club and Catalonia, Pep went on to become Barcelona's captain in 1997.
Guardiola goes for goal! Magnificent strike by Guardiola!
By 2001, after 12 seasons at Barcelona, he had played nearly 500 games and won 16 major trophies, including 6 La Liga titles and the European Cup.
Inclús ara que ho he fet no sé si tinc clar si és el moment idoni, però és que ho he estat pensant durant molt de temps quin és el moment idoni. A Barcelona no és fàcil trobar el moment idoni.
Descartes rotundament jugar a la Lliga Espanyola?
Rotundament. És impossible. Abans em retiro que jugar a Espanya. Impossible.
La sortida, perquè coincideix amb un moment a nivell social doncs, que no estem bé. El club està passant per uns moments difícils, portem un any i mig, 2, sense guanyar títols. Sí, és una pena que surt d'una manera potser descafeinada.
Sí, va ser una mica trist. Va ser per això que et dic que van quedar molt poca gent al camp i tal. Nosaltres hi érem.
Que el capità del Barça, sense que el facin fora, decideixi marxar, allò va sobtar i va ser com un cop al Barça perquè es va quedar sense una de les seves referències. Devia entendre que ell ja havia cobert un cicle en el Barça, ell veia que per darrere venia un jugador com Xavi que podia empènyer-lo i abans de que el retiressin va decidir ell posar fi a la seva etapa com a jugador del Barça.
Talking to Pep Guardiola, it is a shame that he left the way he left. He's been one of the most important players in Barcelona. He comes from the academy. He's Catalan. He's been the captain of the club. What else you want?
Sí, va ser una mica trist. Però bueno, la vida hi ha moments tristos i d'altres alegria. Tenim d'agafar sempre el positiu de la vida.
Pep Guardiola joined Barcelona as a 13-year-old boy, and after a glittering 17 years at the club, he decided that he needed to widen his experience. In 2001, Pep agreed to join Italian Serie A club Brescia.
At the time we had a great team with a great player. We had Roberto Baggio, Luca Toni, and so Pep Guardiola was free. we start to think we can build a massive team if we bring Pep Guardiola next to Baggio. Can you imagine what kind of football can we do it?
Jo crec que ell volia tastar d'altres coses, d'altres equips, d'altra forma de jugar, aprendre.
For sure in Italy, we work a lot on tactics. And Mazzoni was a great coach. And Guardiola, and I think that he learned a lot. I think that was a crucial point for him to know another top word on football before to start in the coaching career.
D'una forma o d'una altra. Ell tenia la seva idea del futbol, però no es podia prendre d'altres cosetes que es podia fer el gruix amb el que ell sap.
Pep Guardiola was also already a coach. You see Pep now in the bench, he used a lot the hands. He was always doing that during the training session to teach the young player the way to put the body position to receive the ball, the way to think, to see where the ball has to go before to receive. And so we had a great coach on the bench and we had a great coach on the pitch.
Yo creo que la gente deja de jugar y se hace técnico. O sea, que él ya entrenaba. Él era entrenador. Lo que no hacía era hacer entrenamientos para que otros entrenaran. Pero él ya era entrenador, que tuvo que pasar un periplo, pues por eso he incidido en esto. Creo que muy bueno como futbolista para terminar teniendo el cartelito con su carné de entrenador.
In June 2007, after 6 years away from the club, Pep Guardiola returned to Barcelona. Not everybody was convinced, though, that he could make it as a coach, or that he was the right one for the club.
Pep was appointed coach of Barcelona's B team, but it nearly didn't happen. A fortunate encounter between the sporting director, Quique Begiristain, and one of the directors, Evarist Murtra, would set in motion a pivotal series of events.
Amb una junta directiva que jo no hi era, i el Quique es posava com volia recuperar el Barça B. Havia baixat a tercera divisió. Quan jo vaig entrar, el Quique ja se n'anava. El Quique volia proposar a Luis Enrique de primer entrenador i al Pep com una espècie d'entrenador d'entrenadors. Llavors jo vaig sortir i vaig agafar el Quique a l'ascensor i vaig dir: has parlat amb Luis Enrique? Diu: no, perquè em sembla que el Pep, el càrrec que li vols donar, ell ara no ho veu. El que vol ser és entrenador. I al cap d'uns dies, pues el Pep va ser entrenador del Barça.
He wanted to be coach, no? To be coach. No football director, no as an assistant. He wanted to be coach, and we decided that he could be a good coach for the B team.
Per mi és una il·lusió boja el fet de poder estar aquí. El que jo vaig ser com a futbolista, jo començo de zero. L'objectiu és pujar el més ràpidament possible, i el més ràpidament possible és aquest any.
Mal porque el Barça B descendió de categoría y bueno, pues se necesitaba otro aire fresco para el Barça B, tanto del cuerpo técnico como de jugadores. Lo hizo un poco más profesional y luego pues a través de sus ideas, de su manera de ver el juego, que en esa época pues era muy avanzada, y mucho más en una categoría donde casi no era profesional, ¿no? En tercera.
Siempre hay multas por llegar tarde, por el peso. Siempre tiene que haber esa disciplina que lleve a un grupo por el buen camino, y creo que es importante.
Sabíamos que si trabajaba bien y le dejaban trabajar, pues iba a ser muy bueno para el club, y bueno, luego pues así fue.
¡Abraham, interior derecha!
En la categoría que estábamos había campos muy pequeños y siempre queríamos jugar la pelota y bueno, era muy difícil. Y siempre sacaba algo, la de los tres centrales, que venía, por ejemplo, lo que hace Busi ahora, pues ya la sacaba, que viniera el tercer central, los laterales subían. En esas categorías, campo tan pequeño, pues la gente decía, se quedaba un poco, pero nada, siempre salía bien.
A base de hores i hores i hores i passar-les molt putes, pues el Barça va guanyar a l'ascens a primera divisió.
People were actually having a go at us because we were not performing and that team was performing.
And now we knew what they were doing. It became like the attraction of the year because we didn't win the league. We lost in the semi-final of the Champions League, semi-final of the Copa del Rey, and they went up. So yeah, I was obviously fully aware of it.
A vegades ell i jo parlem de tots els títols que ha guanyat el Pep, el més difícil era aquest.
And the chance is on here. Oh, and they scored! Barcelona Football Club is self-imploding. Frank Rijkaard, Barcelona beaten again. It's complete humiliation. More doom and gloom for Laporta. It's been a so disappointing performance. But another sorry, sorry tale.
By the turn of 2008, the first team of Barcelona was on a downward spiral. No trophies in 2 years, and with a squad with players on big wages underperforming on and off the pitch. A revolution was needed, and a new leader.
Era evident que el Barça havia arribat ja a un final d'etapa amb Frank Rijkaard i que calia un nou canvi, no? un aire renovador. Va haver la possibilitat de Mourinho.
We thought that we would change the coach at the end of that season, and then I met with several coaches, but the most important that I wanted to know was José Mourinho. No?
La gent volia un entrenador dur. Llavors, Mourinho donava molt més el perfil que no un senyor que l'únic que havia fet és pujar el Barça a tercera B, a segona B. I jo crec que el Jan va deixar que tothom fes el seu treball, però que tenia molt clar que la decisió era que fos el Pep.
We went to a restaurant in Barcelona to talk personally. We had decided that he will be the next coach of the first team of Football Club Barcelona. And when I told him this, he said that you wouldn't have the balls, because he comes from the first division. And at the same time, he said, remember, you know that with me as a coach, you will win everything. And it happened.
Val a dir-ho, el president va ser arriscat de prendre aquesta... perquè una persona que només ha entrenat al mini-estadi i de cop i volta te'n vas amb 100.000 socis i el prestigi que té un Barça, però bueno, es van arriscar i va sortir bé.
Em sento fort, em sento que estic disposat a aquest repte i creieu-me que si no ho sentís no estaria aquí assegut. L'equip correrà, si esteu preocupats per això, la gent correrà, s'esforçarà. Jo els hi perdonaré que no l'encertin. No els hi perdonaré que no s'esforcin, això no.
We knew that was a very tough decision, but we are taking this decision with enthusiasm and with the expectation that would be a great decision. The reality was much more better than our expectations.
When you arrive at Barcelona, it wasn't that nice. My first season was chaos. Fans were not happy, they were booing us. They were not far from being a crisis.
You have to take decisions, you have to replace players, you have to develop a game. It's not easy.
He kicked out some players that were legends at the club, but he didn't think that they were fitting his plan, and they had to go. And it's always easy to say, oh, look at the team he had. But the year before, with even better players the year before, we didn't win anything.
Això ve a abonar la teoria, la vella teoria d'aquest axioma que hi ha en el món del futbol, que és més important moltes vegades saber fer fora jugadors que fitxar. Ja és important saber fitxar. Guardiola no s'ha caracteritzat per ser un gran fitxador, les coses com siguin, però sí que va tenir el suficient sentit comú i olfacte per fer fora elements que distorsionaven les pomes podrides.
If you don't have a good dressing room, forget it. And he knew that, and he did it. It was okay, I'm going to bring my players I know from the youth team. I know they're going to do good for me.
Tenía una relación con la cantera pues muy atrevida, ¿no? De sacar jugadores y sobre todo conociéndolos del año anterior que había estado en el filial.
From there, he built and he made the team evolve to the modern times and improved it.
As well as refreshing the squad, Pep also had to make sure certain players did not leave.
I és llavors quan parlo amb el Pep. Estem a la pretemporada i jo li faig la pregunta, dic, escolta, Pep, comptes amb mi? Perquè, clar, m'arriben ofertes per marxar, el club sembla que té la idea de que potser no veuríem mals ulls vendre'm, i no, en 15-20 segons m'ho va deixar clar. Em va dir que no s'imaginava un equip sense mi, que havia pensat ell tots els equips en ment i que jo estava en aquells equips. El més important en el futbol, els futbolistes, la confiança de l'entrenador. I jo ja la tenia.
I don't know how he was inside, but he didn't look or seem nervous. The only thing that he said, I always remember that, he said, my job is to bring you up until the last third of the field. And then the last third is instinct, that's up to you.
Recordo les primeres xerrades de que deia que ell com a entrenador no es permetria el luxe de que no corréssim. Això és l'únic que us exigiré, que correu i treballeu pel grup. I clar, sorprèn, no? Perquè dius, ostres, aviam.
He wants to control everything, arriving late when possible. If you don't train with the right intensity, that's also impossible. You have to be at home before midnight. Everything was so detailed. What we were drinking at the training ground, what we were eating, everything that you can imagine, he had control of it. It's just crazy.
It was clear that discipline would be key, but to a club like Barcelona, the style of play would be crucial.
These kind of coaches, like Frank Rijkaard, like Pep, that is improving the Johan Cruyff philosophy.
What Pep did, basically, it was keep that philosophy, adapt the team for more speed in the game.
Barcelona was known as a team that will outscore you. Right, so if you score 2, they'll score 4. Then suddenly it's a team that was scoring goals without conceding anymore.
On top of that, he worked a lot in tactics, in movements, make the players memorize 4 or 5 movements in every situation.
Ell el que vol, detesta perdre una pilota. M'ha ensenyat al Barça que perdre la pilota és d'irresponsable, és de no jugar bé a futbol. I llavors, el que perdia la pilota al mig del camp, sabies que estava el Pep i estava bordant allà a la banda, no? Feia anys que jo no sentia que un equip jugava tan bé o entrenava tan bé. I jo pensava, és que ho bordarem. És que quan arribin els partits ho bordarem. I casualitats que té el futbol, doncs que anem a Sòria i perdem 1-0. Però vam jugar bé. Vam ser molt millors que el Numància, lògicament, amb la superioritat que té el Barça al Numància, però és que la desgràcia va ser que al minut 10 ens fan un gol. I no aconseguim fer de les 10-15 ocasions cap gol, perdem el partit. Ens ve el Racing a casa, amb el nerviosisme d'haver perdut el primer partit i amb els dubtes exactament el mateix. Anem guanyant 1-0 i faltant 5 minuts amb una falta, un rebot, i ens la foten a dins. Que generava la figura també del Pep com a entrenador, que molts d'ells deien que no tenia experiència, que s'havia precipitat al club de donar-li el mando al Pep, que només havia entrenat a tercera divisió. Recordo que aquell dilluns, no sé si vam jugar dissabte o diumenge, però el dilluns hi ha un escrit del Johan al periòdico. I l'altre dia el llegeixo i és de pell de gallina. De dir que el Barça està jugant a un nivell espectacular, que és qüestió de que els resultats entrin, que no es preocupi l'afició culer, i a partir d'allà crec que no perdem fins al desembre o gener.
Here's Lionel Messi. These two defenders, absolutely amazing.
Well, it's been an absolute joy to watch Barcelona at their very best.
Come forward here, back to Henry! Fabulous goal! Oh, that's right out of the top drawer from Barcelona. Messi! Goal! It's party time! Start shining the trophy now!
Then everybody says easy, because he has a great player. For sure, when you have quality player, easy to play attractive football. But he has concepts. Once, when we were talking with him, he told me maybe the most important job that I did was to put this fantastic player like Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, to work hard all together without the ball, to recover the ball. And I remember leading this fantastic team, maybe the best team of ever, that Barcelona, without a ball, pressing and running like crazy.
There's that work rate, that hunger and determination that permeates around Guardiola's squad.
Pressió a dalt que vam fer amb el Pep va ser espectacular. D'alguna manera vam revolucionar el futbol modern. Per això el primer any va ser tan bo amb el Pep, perquè va ser com revolucionar d'alguna manera el futbol.
El Barça jugava amb una intensitat que no el superava cap contrari. El podia igualar en quant a intensitat, però en quant a superar-lo no el vas trobar cap. I com que tècnicament eren molt millors i superiors que els altres.
Messi onto the return. It's Lionel Messi! It's glorious!
It was Pep's team from the outside, but when you're on the field, obviously you're going to need to have some leaders. And people always mention Leo Messi, and rightly so, because the guy is just a freak. But hey, don't underestimate what Puyol was doing. Don't underestimate Victor Valdés, Dani Alves, Abidal, Yaya Touré at the time, Xavi, Iniesta, whoever was playing. You know, we're talking about guys that mark the history of that club. So obviously you're going to always talk about Leo because that's the way it is. But Pep's the guy controlling everything from the outside. But then when you go on the field, the players also have to take part of it.
A lucky ricochet here falls for Busquets. He's found Xavi. And here's Messi! 2-0.
Sometimes the superiority of the team was so big, you knew that the moment they scored one goal, that was over. To watch, it was sometimes even boring to watch, but you could see that their control was so big that they couldn't lose.
Tiki-taka, y Pep lo odia todavía en sobremanera, porque la verdadera finalidad y la aportación que Pep hace es la que él ha sentido como jugador, que el pase es un vehículo intencional. O sea, no es lo mismo jugar a tenerla que tenerla para jugar. Hay mucha gente que juega a tenerla, pero eso no es el objetivo del juego. Pep y sus equipos la tienen para jugar. La finalidad es jugar y ganar, ojo.
However the style is perceived, one thing is for certain. Within 4 years, Barcelona had won every title that a club can win.
They are the very best that Spain has to offer. They are Barcelona.
It's 2-0. It's Messi. Hail the new kings of Europe, Barcelona.
Pep Guardiola is creating a monster. Pedro, 2-0. Game over. Back-to-back titles for Pep Guardiola and his players.
It's David Villa. Brilliant. Brilliant Barcelona.
Pep Guardiola's 14th trophy. What a fabulous send-off.
De qui és responsable el temps? El desgast, el dia a dia, d'estar amb ells contínuament, amb vosaltres contínuament, que arriba un moment doncs, que clar que podia haver seguit, però no hagués seguit com un entrenador del Barça mereix ser.
Pues no ho contemplava, això. Jo crec que no, jo crec que molt baix. Que són més sensacions seves amb el club i amb l'equip.
I think he left when he felt that he had to leave, possibly when he could not control 100% everything. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel 100% sure that the next year will be good, I think it was a good decision.
I que a més amb el Barça, o sigui, el Barça amb l'exigent que és i com diu sempre ell, que estàs mirat amb lupa, que el llistó t'ha estat tan alt, i jo crec que ell també es va saturar d'alguna manera, no? I bueno, crec que ho va dir a roda de premsa, no? Que s'havia buidat. No, jo crec que són sensacions seves, no crec que ningú extern hagi sigut culpable de la seva marxa. Són sensacions que té ell.
Bueno, és evident que en Pep Guardiola es va viure una de les èpoques millors i més excitants i més intenses de la història del Barça, no? Perquè es van guanyar, crec que era sobre 19 títols possibles, 14, no? Es va aconseguir el ple de títols en una sola temporada, 6 títols. Després, al cap de 2 anys, se'n van guanyar 5. Es va guanyar 2 vegades i una vegada el triplet. Va guanyar 2 Champions. Vivíem amb un conte de fades al voltant de Guardiola, no?
Sí, vam fer història, o sigui, però no només per guanyar, no? Perquè es pot guanyar. Jo crec que li ha donat una volta al futbol mundial. Ja no et diria Jo diria del Barça, o sigui, fins i tot ha donat una vuelta de tuerca al futbol mundial.
Five years after returning to Barcelona, Pep Guardiola had become the most successful coach in the club's history. But a new challenge was needed. During his time at Barcelona, Pep told a member of his coaching staff that he could see himself coaching one day here at Bayern Munich. He needed to test his footballing philosophy abroad.
Bayern és un club manat, controlat per futbolistes, 100% futboler, gent que pren les decisions, que han estat grans estrelles del futbol, des dels Beckenbauers, Rummenigge, Ulegenes i companyia, i aleshores allà ell va trobar un hàbitat, un entorn natural, idoni per poder treballar com era el Bayern de...
Following 2 seasons without a major trophy for the German Giants, Pep's appointment as coach of Bayern was announced in January 2013. Time was running out for the outgoing coach, Jupp Heynckes.
They were at 3 times second in League and Cup and in Champions League, and that was for Bayern Munich horror.
But by the end of that season, Heynckes and his team had achieved an historic treble.
Surely won it for Bayern Munich. The German champions are champions of Europe. For a 5th time, this is their time. The brilliant Bayern Munich.
So, you have to follow somebody who won all 3 possible titles. So, the stake couldn't be higher.
I heard that he was not really happy that they made the treble without him, because it doesn't make his way easier. How you can explain players a new way when they say, hey, with our way, we won everything.
We had many common grounds in our view of how he approaches football and how he wants the team to play. And so far, that's the best thing, to convince the players, not to impose the ideas, try to convince that those are the right things to do to play better.
On daje siebie wszystko, daje 100%, jest skupiony na każdym detalu tak naprawdę, na każdym jakimś tam poszczególe. I to też jest bardzo ważne w piłce nożnej, bo akurat piłka nożna w dzisiejszych czasach jest tak wyrównana się staje, że tutaj każdy szczegół może decydować o zwycięstwie.
Towards the end of his first season, having won the league, Bayern played in the semi-finals of the Champions League against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu, a defeat, 1-0, but the performance deserved much better. Before the return leg, some players demanded to play the Bayern way.
Players like Schweinsteiger and Ian Robben and Frank Ribéry and Manuel Neuer and Thomas Müller wanted to play the old way, and that was a problem that they say, with the old way, we won. Against Real, we won everything. Let's play the old style. And he changed and said, okay, we do that.
Ronaldo! The European champions have been dethroned, stripped of their title, stripped of their dignity as their defence just melted away.
Bayern lost heavily. Bayern lost in a way they hadn't lost before in their stadium. Then, after the match, Guardiola said the team had decided on the way we should approach this game, and I led them.
He said, the players have done this, I would have done it the other way.
This was completely different from anything we had in our heads here, because Guardiola sets the rules and everybody follows.
Nobody knew really why he make it public, you know? Because I always say things what happen inside the club stay inside the club.
I can only give you my opinion, which I found not that appropriate.
On the other hand, he was very disappointed that when they get out of Champions League, everybody was talking just about that. The championship and the cup was not important anymore. Everybody was talking just about this game, and he didn't understand that.
Pep's Bayern continued to win trophy after trophy. But there was a perception that he had joined a club that was almost guaranteed silverware.
Dla mnie Bundesliga, szczerze powiedziawszy, jest jedną z trudniejszych lig, bo nawet jak zobaczymy, jak przyjeżdżają drużyny tutaj, grają bardzo taktycznie dobrze, przyjeżdżają się bronić. Ja jako napastnik to widzę bardzo często i w każdym meczu wiem, jak jest ciężko. To nie jest tak, że każda drużyna chce grać ofensywnie i też strzelić bramkę.
You can have great players, you can have a lot of money, and you can be in a great club, and you can fail as well. You need to be wise enough to pull all those things together and to find the right formula. And for that, you need a great manager as well. You can't take for granted the success that he's having.
Ask players here in Bayern, ask world champions, and they will say he made us better. What he has done with this club and with his players is amazing.
Czasami Pep ma milion pomysłów, ale staram się zawsze czerpać to, co ma najlepsze i już teraz wiem, że stałem się lepszym zawodnikiem.
2 years I'm gonna be with him, but I think that it's been like a very intense MBA, like intense master for me.
He has brought this team up to a level that you will not find anywhere else in the world. They can play any system you want and change that within seconds. I don't see any other team on this planet that is even close to that. Recently we had this game, Bayern in Dortmund. It was before a EuroLeague match of Dortmund against Tottenham. And there was this guy from Tottenham watching this game. And he was constantly shaking his head. Somebody who was sitting very close to him told me just today that he said to another guy from London, "I have never seen anything like this before." This match was the best I have seen for ages in this country, and it was a 0-0. It was plain, close to perfect football.
There's one thing sure, he developed his team. They play like Bayern Munich has never played before. But I think the people didn't shout his name like they did for other coaches. The thing Bayern Munich for him is a job. He didn't work for Bayern Munich as the one club he loves. And if you don't love Bayern Munich, you can't say Bayern Munich has to love you.
95% of the people are really happy, you know. We keep winning, of course, we all won the Champions League, but Bayern here have 5 Champions League in all years. To win the Champions League, it's so difficult.
Will he be judged by winning the Champions League? By the media, yes. He'll be very, they will love to judge him by that. So maybe he'll be, in the end, he'll be criticized even more than he should be.
We're talking about a guy that won everything in the game. But we're judging a guy now on only winning the Champions League. So, I mean, it's a bit crazy. But if you don't win the Champions League, suddenly it's not a good year. When I don't know when was the last time Bayern Munich actually won 3 titles in a row. But that's forgotten. They didn't win the Champions League. And that's how great of a manager he is, because he's getting judged only on that.
As a manager, as an understanding on football and about the team, I think that he has improved and he has gained a lot of things here.
Hitzfeld and Heinkes, these are guys of the past now. It's this way of coaching. Guardiola sets the tone now, and he will do that in England too.
Here we go then, only one place to start this hour. Manchester City have got their man. Pep Guardiola will replace Manuel Pellegrini as manager next season in arguably the biggest managerial coup in the history of the Premier League.
One of the best managers in the world, no doubt about this.
He will bring tactical innovation, fresh ideas,
It's interesting to have all the best players and all the best managers in the Premier League.
Here is another test for my career. That's why I'm here, to prove myself if I am able to convince these players to play the way we want. At the end, we will see.
No, em sorprèn pel fet de que, el City, saps que abans de fitxar pel Bayern de Múnich va ser un dels clubs que més van construir un projecte a la seva mida i on podrà ell tenir el control absolut de les decisions que es prenguin en el club en l'apartat futbolístic. No?
We believe that he's able to take what we have and take it to the next level. And by the next level, I mean the next level in tactical sophistication and the next level in intensity. That's what we want from him. I think this is what he wants to deliver to the club.
They will have the money, they will have the facilities, and they will bring in the players. If there are players who say he's demanding too much, then he'll find players who will do that. He will not lower his standards. Never, ever.
The Premier League is very difficult. 1 week he's playing against Arsenal, who's playing in one way, and then the week after he's playing against, I don't know, a team more direct, where in Spain they all try to play the same way, and in Germany as well. So this will be his biggest challenge.
Crec que el Pep, doncs, amb la seva figura, amb el que ha sigut en el futbol modern, pot fer un canvi generacional en la... Jo crec que és una de les persones que pot canviar una mica la idea del futbol anglès.
I will do my best until the last day. I will do my best to achieve or to reach what we want.